Good evening, everybody. My name is Chris Donaldson, and we are officially live here on Office Hours. At this point in the show, I would usually welcome you into my office. However, as you can see, I'm in a lovely hotel room. So this is a special Road Warrior edition of Office Hours here from beautiful Lafayette. I'm here teaching some CE classes tomorrow all day long. So therefore, Office Hours is taking it on the road. For you guys that may or may not have been here before, this is a show about your real estate business and anything and everything that we can do to help you have a better real estate business. There are no tricks. There are no hooks here. I literally am doing this show for you guys and always trying to keep it ahead of the curve so that y'all, the Office Hours folks, can stay on top of things. As you can see, I'm even rocking the Steve Gleason t-shirt. That's the advantage of being on the road. And I don't have to wear shoes. It's awesome. So if you've never been here before, a couple of things. Number one, we do this show live because I want to take your questions. There's a Q&A portion. So please, in the Facebook comments, if you've got a question, either up front or at any point during the show, please feel free to ask. Either myself or lovely marketing assistant Hannah will be working with you, and we'll try to get to every question we possibly can. So tonight's show, we're talking about Nextdoor. And the reason I think that Nextdoor is of interest to you is that it looks like it could be, quote unquote, the next big thing. So what I'm going to do tonight is not only explain to you what Nextdoor is if you don't know, but I'm also going to give you 3 specific things that you can do with Nextdoor to help build your real estate business. And if those are working, I've got a 4th bonus one all locked up and ready to go. So if you guys are here and it's working for you, I've got a bonus one. So let's start and kind of set the scene here. So Nextdoor.com, if you guys aren't familiar, is a social network for neighborhoods. And essentially the way it works is very simple. You sign up based on your address, and your address has to be verified. So in your neighborhood, there is a social network that is just for you and your neighbors. And there's a few interesting things about Nextdoor and why it's got my attention I want you guys to know. I mean, listen to some of these statistics. First of all, number one, it's in over 150,000 neighborhoods as of us recording this show. It's in all 50 states, and it covers 77% of the United States. But if you guys know me, I love marketing. And marketing is about attention and where the consumer is looking. And so here's the stat that really catches my attention. And that is that in 2017, Nextdoor is going to cross, according to their CEO, in a 20% coverage in many of the top markets, which means their penetration in top markets, Nextdoor's, will exceed the local newspapers. So think about that Nextdoor.com, this relatively new social network, is going to have more market penetration, so more attention to the consumer than local newspapers. And I think that's pretty important. And so there's always the battle, right? What can I do on Nextdoor to build my business? Does it cost money? Is it free? And the answer to all those is yes and yes. So I'm going to show you some things that you guys can do that are 100% free. I always love that because it fits in everybody's budget. And then the second, I'm going to show you if you want to look into some ways you might want to allocate some of your marketing budget into something else. I think that you might get a big jump on your competition by considering Nextdoor. And there's a couple of more reasons for that. The main one is this, and that is that Nextdoor is making a purposeful, new, and major play into the real estate market. So in other words, this social network that's been there for a while is a neighborhood social network, now is on purpose coming after the real estate market, which means they're attempting to compete for you and the consumer's attention and advertising dollars over other market players like Zillow or Realtor.com or Facebook or Trulia, on and on and on. So I think Nextdoor has the potential to be the next big thing, because if people are there and they're active and they're using it, it's got power in your real estate business. So let me talk about a couple of things that are important about Nextdoor. Let's start with the easy stuff. If you're not on it, get on it. So that's your first tip. So if you live in a house, you're in a neighborhood, you're on Nextdoor, go to nextdoor.com and sign up. It's free. It costs nothing. And you guys need to be in Nextdoor so that you can at least keep an eye on your own neighborhood. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you whether you like Nextdoor or not as a social network or something that you want to spend time on. Not really interested in that. But what I am interested in is the fact that there are lots of free features and lots of ways that you can gain attention, notoriety, and take over your neighborhood as far as if your neighbor 2 doors down is going to list their house, that they're going to list it with you. And one of the best ways you can ensure that's going to happen is because you're in the social network that only their neighbors can be on. So number one, the easiest tip is if you haven't signed up, get on nextdoor.com and sign up. And what you're going to see is a lot like a Facebook or any other social network, but it's just within your neighborhood, like your subdivision, your zip code. And so what that means is you're going to see lots of cool things there. You're going to see things like people recommending anything from a dog walker to cleaning services. You're going to see what else would your neighbors want to do. Tell you if there's been a car burglar down the road and you guys watch out, or whatever the case may be. It's a way to communicate with your neighbors. So one of the number one ways for you to build your real estate business without having to spend any money is to jump into your neighborhood and be the source of information. So in the old days, how would you do that? You'd be maybe a part of the HOA, you'd go to community meetings, you would host parties. Now you can jump on nextdoor.com, and when somebody needs a recommendation for whatever it may be, a plumber, you can jump in and share some experience. If somebody needs some help, you can jump in and share some experience. And remember, give to get. So if you're constantly in there, not just trying to get their business, but earning their trust, being a good neighbor, I think that it's a really good idea for you to be the real estate agent that your neighbors are going to know, like, and trust, to where it's your for sale signs that are everywhere. So, guys, the number one thing is be a member of Nextdoor in your neighborhood. Keep an eye on it, because what if somebody's saying something good or bad about you as a neighbor or real estate agent and you're not in there to see it? It's just like Google, right? Don't hide from Google, because you've got a reputation on Google whether you want to look at it or not. So it's better to actively manage it. So let me talk about a few of the features that Nextdoor's CEO recently released and what they're after. So number one, what are the types of discussions you're going to see on nextdoor.com? If you guys are already in it, let me know what you like about it. Let me know what you use it for. Let me know, for any of you guys, if you're already on Nextdoor and you've been actively using it, tell me what you like about it. What do you use it for? The statistics say a few simple things. 32% of the posts and discussions are classifieds. 24% are recommendations. 10% is news and information, which means a lot of it is just your modern day neighborhood community center, right? Classifieds on things that they're selling. So it's your neighbor down the street, you need a couch, your neighbor's selling it, but also recommendations. Let's say that again, 24% of discussions are recommendations. So somebody needs to buy or sell their house, maybe buy in another neighborhood. They're going to Nextdoor to ask their neighbors, who did you use? I saw that you sold your house and I can't remember the name of your agent. What was their name? Et cetera, et cetera. Being involved in your community is the number one way to build your real estate business, simply by being there. But what's even more staggering is the idea that Nextdoor is jumping into real estate. So if you're curious about how they're doing so, it's really simple. Go to this website. Go to realestate.nextdoor.com. And you're going to see that they have, first of all, they have a subdomain just for that, realestate.nextdoor.com. And if you go there, you're going to see that they're making a big play into the real estate market. So let's talk about a few things, because there's not a lot of agents, not a lot, that are actively in here. Some of these features are brand new. So just like Zillow zip codes and other marketing referral services and other zip codes that you may have been able to get in early on, getting in early might be a huge advantage here. So it's something that may be worth looking into. So let's talk about a couple of these things. The first one for Nextdoor that I think is incredibly interesting are what they call local pages, which is just a business page on Nextdoor.com. So if you have an established real estate brokerage, an established real estate agency, you've been around a while, you may want to check and see if you've got a business profile page already pre-set up on Nextdoor.com. That's the number one thing. So claim your business. And the way to do that is to go to Nextdoor.com/business. And if you're on the Office Hours email list, we're going to send you an email tomorrow with the show notes, with these various links. So if you're missing them or anything like that, we'll make sure to catch up. If you're not on the Office Hours email list, hang in there and I'll show you how to get on there. But make sure to claim your business. Then here's the key. If you're a real estate agent, it's likely that you don't have a business page on Nextdoor.com, so you're going to create one. So you're going to go to Nextdoor.com/business and you're going to create your business page. Now you're managing your reputation, because now you're going to be able to set up you as a real estate agent, as a real estate pro, specifically and natively within Nextdoor.com. And that's going to give you the ability to do a lot of different things. It's going to give you a leg up on anybody else in your neighborhood that may not have that. It's going to give you something to refer to. And what I like the most is you're going to be able to build your reputation. So if you guys know, I posted a clip earlier from a past episode of Office Hours. I'm big on the Better Business Bureau is dead. Like, no offense, but the BBB is dead. But online reviews and testimonials are as big as ever. And that's why the Better Business Bureau is dead. So what that means is the number one juice that you can give yourself within Nextdoor or anywhere else is to have an excellent reputation. Because if you've got a couple of 5-star or 5-heart reviews, whatever the case may be, on Nextdoor.com, and your neighbor's looking for a real estate agent and they're on Nextdoor.com, guess what they're going to do? They're going to recommend you. Or they're going to look on Nextdoor.com, they're going to see you, and they're going to reach out to you, and they're going to be able to easily contact you. So the only way you can actively manage your reputation is to be a part of the community. So Nextdoor.com, by creating that business page, you're going to be able to do that. So go check and see if it already exists, because Nextdoor is pulling data from other sources. So your business page may have been mentioned by other people, therefore its frame is created, or it might already exist. Go claim it, and if not, then build it. And I think that it's hugely important, guys, because if you have that profile, you can then take care of the next steps. So the next one that I think is, first of all, for you guys that are watching live right now, if you like what we're talking about so far, if you're in Nextdoor, make sure to let me know. Give me a like, give me a heart right now. Let me know that you're paying attention and that you're going to use this stuff, because I've got a couple of more. So let me know that this is working for you, because I want to dive a little deeper once you've got the business page set up, which is, now let's get into how Nextdoor is going to make money on you. And how Nextdoor, thank you guys for the likes. I appreciate that, by the way. A little bit of a delay. What I want you guys to understand is that the next thing that Nextdoor's got for you is what's called a branded listing. And branded listings are really interesting, because what Nextdoor is doing is building a real estate engine, which means they're the next place that wants to make sure that your neighbors know when open houses are, when houses go up for sale, these various things, but they're also getting data fed to them from various sources, which means that a branded listing, what you're going to be able to do, depending on, now these things I don't know because this is all relatively new, but what your MLS board will let you do, whether you have to be a broker or use your broker. But the point is that if you have branded listings, this means you'll be the local expert because you created the business page, and then your listings will consistently be fed into Nextdoor.com. In other words, you will be the person that people see, and you will be the real estate that people see. You will be the recommended agent that people see. Branded listings, if you look at realestate.nextdoor.com, have a super powerful possibility that it's something that I really think you should look at, because you can put your neighbor recommendations on your listing. So there's nothing better than having a recommendation from an actual neighbor. Remember, It's huge here, guys. Like 89% is the statistic of people check online reviews before they make a purchase decision. And then 93% of consumers trust the online reviews that they see, which means if you are in Nextdoor and you've got reviews and recommendations from your neighbors, then you won't have to experience that terrible feeling of your Nextdoor neighbor listing their house with your competitor. They'll be on your site, or they will list with you because they'll see your branded listings, your reputation, you will be a part of it, and that's the whole key here, is to take control of your neighborhood. And I think that's amazingly powerful. The last one is probably my favorite, at least the last of the first three, which is a neighborhood sponsorship. So once you have claimed your real estate business page, now you're managing your reputation, you're actively working within the feed and within the chat room. The last thing you'll be able to do if you want to spend a little bit of advertising money is to be able to claim zip codes. And just like in all of these other programs, Zillow, Realtor.com, whatever it is, you'll be able to claim a zip code to where, guess what? You are going to be the sponsored agent. You are going to have prime ad placement in their real estate section, their news feed, their digest email that all of the Nextdoor community members get. And so what I want to point out to you guys is we're looking forward here, right? I'm not guaranteeing. It's impossible for me to guarantee what kind of results you may or may not get. But what I'm saying is I think it's early, and I think Nextdoor is going to continue to grow. And I think they're making a huge purposeful play into real estate, and getting in early might be a huge advantage, because getting in early means you're going to claim the best zip codes. Getting in early means the price is going to usually be lower before demand goes up. And getting in early means you're going to be dominating Nextdoor. So by the time your competitors may or may not watch this video or take a class with me and figure this out, you'll already be there. You may already have claimed that zip code. They won't be able to get in. So what I want you guys to understand is it's an important place on the internet that I'd like you guys to consider. I'd like you to look at it. So let's back up a couple of steps and let's review here. So we're talking about Nextdoor.com. And Nextdoor.com, if you don't use it or haven't used it, is a 100% free social network that is designed for neighbors and neighborhoods. And remember, what's interesting about Nextdoor is that it's private. They don't index the information in the discussions on search engines like Facebook would or other discussion boards would, which means if you're having a discussion about kids playing loud music in the backyard and you're going back and forth with your neighbor, that's not getting indexed on search engines. So it's like a private community social network. You have to verify your address. So guys, you have to live in the neighborhood. That's the key here. Not for the business stuff, but for you to actually be a member, you have to live in the neighborhood because you've got to claim your address. So it's very local. They keep very discrete boundaries, like by the subdivision, and it's extremely useful for those folks that operate in the community. So if you're new to real estate, you're just looking for another place to maybe connect with people, I mean, the number one thing to do is to have lots of real estate conversations and have lots of conversations where you're helping folks. So the number one way to own your neighborhood, to own your farm, to own your niche is to be in there and be helpful all the time. Anytime you can help, be there. There's a section for open houses where you can post that you're having an open house. I mean, it's incredibly powerful. And so I want you guys to understand that those are all free features. So the next thing for those of you that may be jumping in is the understanding that Nextdoor, in order to help monetize and make money and become a bigger company, is taking on the real estate space, which means they are giving you opportunity as real estate agents, or if you're a home inspector, or if you're a plumber, an electrician, a contractor, listen up. This is not just for real estate agents, okay? They're making a play in the space to get people to create business pages to manage their reputation. So step number 2, just in review, is that make sure you go and you claim your business page, nextdoor.com/business. And if your business is not there, Don't sweat it. You get to create it. So now you've got a business profile page. The third thing you can do real estate specific is you can actually have branded listings, which means Nextdoor is giving you an opportunity to build a reputation, to be able to possibly advertise, to be the recommended agent, to have your listings fed automatically into the neighborhood. Extremely powerful. And then the last thing we talked about that the CEO recently recommended was neighborhood sponsorship, where you can actually take over zip codes or be the preferred agent in zip codes, and you will be in that premium real estate. You will exist in those places. And I cannot overstate enough that I think that this is somewhere all of you guys should be. Give it time. Give it 3 to 6 to 9 months, right? Be consistent. And at the end of the day, if you guys like have children and have a family and you haven't been in Nextdoor, I think you're going to find that it's extremely powerful. I think you're going to find that it's going to help you. You're going to be able to keep in touch with your neighbors. You may not know the guy's name down the street, but if there's something that he needs to know, you might be able to connect with him on Nextdoor. But also, this gives you an opportunity, just something to put into your daily prospecting activity, to where during your prospecting, you can hop on Nextdoor and just be in the mix, right? Make sure that people know what you do. Post your open houses. That's free. Make sure that people are aware of your expertise. Help them when they're looking for recommendations. Leave friendly reviews for other people, all those various things. And then the last thing is, if you've got advertising money to spend, it may be worth getting in early on Nextdoor.com and considering the amazing potential that I believe it has. Because to kind of explain it and to bring a lot of this into focus, and those of you that are regular office hours viewers or definitely superstars graduates or have been through my program, you know this, and that is the business of competing for the consumer's attention and then selling that to you as real estate agents is a huge multi-billion with a B dollar business. That's how Zillow makes money, Realtor.com makes money, Facebook makes money, Nextdoor.com is going to make money. They have the consumer's attention, then they want to sell it to you. Now, before you're like, oh, geez, here we go, it's the way of the world. You either go get their attention yourself, or you find underpriced attention, like maybe early Nextdoor, and you get in there because the return could be huge, right? What if you get on Nextdoor and next week somebody across the street decides they're selling their house, you get that listing? What's the return on investment on that? Like, think about this. You might make a huge commission check somewhere in your neighborhood from just jumping in and being the only real estate agent in that space. It's worth trying. And I think that as they get into the real estate space, they be in Nextdoor.com, I think you're going to see more product offerings. You're going to see expansion. They're going to continue to try to get into this space because the market is so big. I mean, real estate itself is a multi-trillion-dollar industry with a T. So in order to make money, all of these businesses are trying to get their piece of that action. And so I want you guys to be aware of it. I want you to be in there. I want you to be early. And I want you to kick your competitor's butt. How does that sound? I want you to kick your competitor's butt. Because if they're not watching office hours, forget them, right? You guys are. So if you like the idea of kicking your competitor's butt, pound that like. Let me know that's something that you're interested in, because otherwise, what are we doing here? It's okay to be a little competitive, right? And if they've got the most valuable Zillow zip code, let them maybe overpay for that. You jump into Nextdoor and you go kick some butt with your neighbors, and you have all the listing signs. You have all the listing signs. I think that's a super great idea. So those are my 3 main things I want to see you guys do, right? You've got the free page. You've got the real estate stuff. If you're a part of the office hours email list, we will put together these links and these various things that I talked about, and I'll send them to you. But if you're not, let me refresh a little bit, and then we'll get into the Q&A section. So as a quick reminder, the reason we do this show live is there's nothing like live TV. Live from hotel Wi-Fi, and hopefully it's been working for you because it shows that we're still up. So I'm pretty happy with that. But the reason I do this show live is, number one, it's fun. I like doing live television. Facebook likes live, which means I like live. But the second reason is to help you even more. So we're going to move into the Q&A section of today's program. And Q&A basically means if you've got a question, if you want to ask me something specifically about either Nextdoor.com or real estate marketing or business building, if there's something I can help you with, you're up. This is your chance. Right here in the comments, right here on Facebook, if you got a question, my favorite part of the program is to see if I can help you, because I want to provide you guys as much value as I possibly can. Otherwise, what would be the purpose of this? I'm always going to try to give you as much value as possible. So if you've got a question right here on the live stream, post your question in the comments, and I'll be trying to answer them as best I can. So Pete, thanks for the comments. Hannah, Stacy, Lauren, it's so good to see you guys. Thank you for jumping on. I love having you guys. So I'm going to read a couple of these questions and see. We already have one agent to one broker asking, since the brokerage has a page, I think you guys can figure that out on who's going to manage the broker's business page. So you guys can figure that out. Does the individual page link to the main page like Facebook? That's actually a really good question, Lauren. I'm glad you asked that. So Nextdoor is very aware of some of the issues that other social networks have had, primarily Facebook. Not you guys that watch office hours, but other agents out there that, let's just say, spam up Facebook all the time, right? They're using their personal page to promote their business, and it's just spam and spam and spam. And those are the people that people think about when they're like, oh gosh, social media marketing, like all people do. Well, no, that's bad social marketing. So actually, Lauren, I'm glad you asked. One thing that Nextdoor.com is not going to do is have a purposeful integration between your personal profile in your neighborhood and your business page, because they don't want you spamming your neighborhood with your business. And actually, I think that's a really good move, because you're still the same person. You're going to have links to your business profile page in your Nextdoor profile, but it's not going to be where you're sharing information back and forth and slamming your neighborhood's news feed with your latest open house that's 15 neighborhoods over. Because you guys are good marketers if you're watching office hours. A lot of them aren't. And they're not going to realize how stupid it is to be slamming your personal neighborhood, your backyard, with potential listings across the neighbor, I mean, not the neighborhood, the community, the city, the state even. So I actually think Nextdoor is making a good decision there. And of course, Lauren, they can decide to change their mind, right? If enough real estate agents say, hey, we would prefer this feature, we need more integration, maybe they will, but it actually says specifically somewhere within their business stuff that it's not going to be directly integrated. So I think they're trying to separate themselves from, say, a Facebook. They're trying to separate themselves and provide a product that's a little bit different. So really good question. So if anybody else has questions, either about Nextdoor.com or really anything about building or maintaining your real estate business, I'm super happy to help you guys. I'm happy to answer them. So in the meantime, while you're thinking or maybe typing out some questions, it looks like there's a little bit of a delay here between me and when the questions are actually coming in. There's the hotel Wi-Fi for you. So in the near term, I've got a couple of things. Number one, I'd like to leave you guys with a couple of important calls to action. The first is, thank you so much for your attention. Thank you for your time. I hope this has been helpful to you. If it has, the number one thing you can do for me is to make sure that you give this stream likes. Share it with your colleagues. If you're a broker on here, like my man Pete, who's very smart, he's got his agents in there. I like what you guys are doing. Share it with the agents in your office. Share it with people maybe from another office within your company. That's the number one thing you can do. And then if you're not on the office hours email list, make sure that you join the email list. So like tomorrow, we will send out links to these various resources and the different things that we talked about. So the way to get on the office hours email list is simply my website, christalks.com. Go to christalks.com. Right at the top, you can simply enter your email. Boom, you're on the list. And then the next time we have the live broadcast, like next Wednesday night, you will be the first to know. You'll get first crack at RSVP and so on. The last thing I have for y'all is I've got a question for you. And so I'd like to end the show with the question of the week. And the question of the week is for y'all, and I'd like you to leave your answer in the comments. And that is, one thing that I've been asked a lot about is, well, when you touch on things on office hours, I want to go 3 levels deeper. I want to get even more advanced. I'd like you to be able to really show me what to do with it. It's something that you can't do in a 30-minute or an hour-long live broadcast. So the question of the week is for you guys. And it's a yes or no, which is really, would you be interested in something like a monthly webinar, either a membership, a club, something to where at some sort of a cost to at least cover the technology for me to deliver it to you? Is that something you'd be interested in, where once a month that we can have a webinar just for you guys, or a private stream just for you, where we can dive 5 levels, 10 levels deeper, really get expert? That's the question of the week. If it's something that you would be interested in, it's kind of like the reverse of Field of Dreams, right? If you build it, they will come. Well, no, if you want it, I will build it. Because I would love to do it, but I'm only going to do it if I'm going to have people there. And so this is the next level thing, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are clamoring for real estate agents' money, right? It's an old joke in our business. There's 2 ways to make money in real estate, either selling real estate or selling stuff to real estate agents. But at some sort of a cost, it'd be like the masterclass series. It's something that I'm considering doing. So if you're interested in that, the question of the week is, please let me know in the comments. Stacy, thank you. Love it. Chelsea, good to see you. Thank you. Look how, Chelsea, we'll talk about video in a bit. Thank you, guys. I would love to do it because we could dive really deep on topics like Facebook advertising is an example. There's so much I can't share with you in a quick office hours episode that I'd love to be able to do. Advanced techniques, show you how to maximize your money. If it's something that you're interested in, please let me know in the comments. That's the question of the week. If you want it, we will build it. It's as simple as that. So thank you so much. The last thing I'll tell you, if you haven't been paying attention, keep an eye on our Instagram. We're going to start doing a lot more work on Instagram, a lot more curated content, a lot more on the stories, a lot more live. So for those of you that are following us in various places, keep an eye on my Instagram at Chris Talks Daily. I think you're going to see a lot more content there that you may be interested in. So that's it for this week's Office Hours. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we are back next week. Same day, same time, but hey, I think I'll actually be back in the comfort of my office. I'll see you guys next time.